Morning, guys. Welcome to this session. This is a live session. Today is January 26th. It's a Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning. I know I sent the invite yesterday, and some of you could not make it. They sent me a message. Others are they did not send me a message, but of course they're not here. So this is not a required attendance in a term that you guys have to attend live to be able to watch the recording. I'm going to provide this recording later on, and I'm going to follow up this one with a message for those who probably did not see my original message that was sent yesterday. Anyway, so this is a meeting. We're not going to be having this meeting on a regular basis, so that you know this is an online class. So we have that understanding, and that's why the attendance actually is not required for this session. But watching these videos is a requirement. Anyway, the purpose of this one is to give you an idea how this class is structured and what to expect in this class and how to basically make sure that you're on top of your subjects. Again, this is an online class, which means that everything will be done at your own time. This fact does not prevent that things are not timed, so that you know, okay? The materials in here in terms of content, in terms of assignments, they have a specific due date so that you know, okay? So please make sure you follow those times and follow those due dates and things like that, and do reach out for me for any help. So again, my name is Jumoy Bouzidi. My students in the past call me DJ. So I teach this class, which is Astronomy 120. This is section 70 that was started last week, and it ends on May 14th. We have a spring break somewhere in between, and we have several assignments to make sure we meet all the requirements for this class. So if you hear me and you see my recordings actually for my lectures also, they're referring to Astronomy 1001. That is the new name for this class. So this class is changing name down the road. So you will see me sometimes in my communications and things like that, referring to this class as Astronomy 1000, or I'm sorry, 1001. So if you do hear that, what I mean by it's the same class that you guys are having, which is Astronomy 120. It's the same thing, okay? So it's just the new naming that the college is adopting, and hopefully that's not confused. That's not an issue that you might have. Anyway, so let me share with you the screen to share to see this course online. So let me go to the share button, and I'm gonna pull the screen in here. So hopefully all of you guys are looking at the screen in here that basically shows Astronomy 120, section 17, and you can see on the top corner in here it says Spring 2026. That's this class, okay? This is how I would see it if I'm a student. As a matter of fact, let's see at the bottom in here, it gives me the option to reset student or leave student view, because I'm actually in student view, so that you guys know that I'm looking at it how you would look at it. So when you land in the class, this is how the first page that pops up. Here, this is the main pane, the main window where things are happening. On the right-hand side, there are some few things in here, and one of them is the to do. So these are the things that to do. Some of them are actually not available yet, and some of them are actually available. Okay, some of them are actually already there. Okay, this is the one that we're doing now, the live session. Okay, so this is a message that you guys have received. So when you see something in here like with the loudspeaker, that means it's a message. When you see something like this, it's actually the discussion items. And then here are other types of assignments, and you will see basically different assignments down the road as they pop up. Okay, so there are all kinds of assignments. These are what is available right now. Okay. Anyway, the action really is happening. The main thing in here for this class or any class that you take online, usually it's the models section, which is on the left pane. So please pay attention to that. the way you reach out to me, the easiest way is when you come in here to the inbox. That's when you can send me a message, because then I can see exactly which class you're coming from. Okay. So I will know that you're coming from Astronomy 120 and you have a specific question so that I can answer it quickly. If you send me an email and don't specify and you ask a question about homework 3, for example, when is it due or something, I have no idea. I have several sections of astronomy itself in addition to other classes. So if you're not specific, it's going to be kind of vague and it takes some time for me to reach out to respond to you. So again, the best option for you guys to reach out to me is through the inbox. In addition to that, this window provides several links. As I said, the modules link. There is an open topic discussion item. When you have a general question about the class or something in general, or when is this assignment due or something, probably a good idea also to include it in here too. That unless it's urgent, of course, you can send me the inbox in here. To give a chance for your classmates to answer that, you have a question about specific homework or something like that, you might drop it in here and maybe somebody else will answer it for you, and probably before I do. And that's good. That's actually very good. That's what actually I'm trying to have you guys do in here. Okay. In addition to that, this page provides a syllabus page and also the syllabus printed version of it, which is a PDF version of the same stuff that is actually in the syllabus itself. So let's click on the syllabus. You can go to it from here, or if you are anywhere else, let's say, for example, you are in the models and you would want to go to it. So let me click on that. And I can still go to the syllabus page just by looking at by clicking on the left pane. So this takes me to the syllabus of this class. This is everything there is in this class, including the content, including all of the assignments and what stuff is due, okay? These are my contact info and some summary of the course information and things like that. This is my office hours and times, okay? I hold my office here on campus, mainly in PS 195. That's my office number. Sometimes I go to the STEM Center also, which is in the PS building. The physical science building is divided into two sections. There is the main building and this is the extension. So I'm actually in the extension right now. And when you see the number 1, that means I'm on the lower floor, and the first floor, that is. And the STEM Center is actually in the main building, so that you know. So there are two sections to this building. The main building, and that is this extension that comes from this side. So I'm in the extension. And the way to come to my office is actually a little bit, you have to come to the secondary section of the physical science building, and then go around PS 194 first, and then come into PS 195. So there are two doors at least while you are in this segment of the building, which is kind of a little bit awkward in a sense, because if you're coming without an appointment or not during my office hours, you might find the outside the office closed. So I might be in my office, okay? But if I don't have office hours, usually the main door is locked because of the fact that they have printers in here and other stuff for the other faculty in here. They use the outside part of the office section. So they close the building. They close that room, I'm sorry. So you will not have access to physical science room 195. Of course, I also have online, especially since you guys are online. This is actually a very good important thing to know, that you have the option to meet with me online. So here is my office hours. Mondays, today, from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Tuesdays, Thursdays, from 8 o'clock basically till a little over 9 o'clock in the morning. I have a class after that. And then on Wednesday in the afternoon between 2:30 and 3:30, because after that I have another class at 4 o'clock. So that's the time when I'm available for you guys to meet. I'm going to be in office during those times. As I said, my office is 195. And there is actually another room which is 194. And there is actually a room which is 196. All they share the same space. The outside door, which is for room 194, closes, and sometimes other faculty close it because they have materials in here, exams and things like that. They close it. So it's very, very important that please send me a message ahead of time if you're coming in person to meet with me, and tell me, hey, I'm going to be there on Thursday at 8:30 or something. That gives me an option to go at least to make sure that the door is not locked outside, to make sure that it's always open for you, number one. I try to always keep it open, by the way, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be open. The other thing also is I need to know when you're coming because somebody else, I have, like I said before, I have several other classes too on campus. So somebody else might be already wanting to meet with me during that time. So, and if they came first, it's on first come, first serve basis. So if you tell me you want to meet at 8:30, I will tell you I will be not available during that time, but I can meet with you at 8:45, for example, or whenever I'm free with the other person. So it's a good idea to send me a message to let me know ahead of time that you're coming so that I can make sure that you're served basically. You can always we can always also schedule a meeting online. Now, if none of these times work for you, especially because you're an online student, you can reach out to me still, and we can arrange for another time, for example, on Friday or even on a weekend. If none of those things can work out for me and you, we can make an adjustment for it so that we can meet hopefully sometime during the week, if not during the weekend. Again, you send a message through the inbox and hopefully I'll respond. Usually I respond within a few minutes, okay? But sometimes I'm either in class or somewhere else, or if it happened to be on a weekend, I'm driving or something. So it may take some time for me to reply to you, okay? So this is the way to reach me. Also, there is another option. My office is equipped with a phone. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's actually there. And that's my office number. Okay, you can always call me on this number. And the way it works is when you call me, usually it sends me a message saying that you received the phone call. Here is the, that is if I'm not in person, like right now I'm in here. So if it rings, I'm going to pick it up. Okay. If not, it's going to go to the answering machine. Please do leave a message and be specific in your messages, whether email or phone, your name, your class, Astronomy 120, section 70, because I have more than one section, and be specific in your message, okay? And so that when I reply, I can find you, okay? So this is basically how to reach me, the contact information. Of course, the stuff that is in the syllabus is a typical thing, description, the prerequisites. There are no prerequisites for this one. We only had advisory recommendations. This is the SLOs, the student learning objectives, and this is the course objectives, what we need to cover in this class. The textbook, we're using the book by Schneider and Arnie. Let me try to find it in here. It's in my office. This is the textbook, so let me remove the share right now, just to give you a bigger view of it. So this is the book, okay? Pathways to Astronomy, 6th edition. I think it's backward. No, it's correct, okay? So it's by Schneider and Arnie. You don't have to have the hard copy of this book, okay? You can have an electronic version of it. As a matter of fact, you can just basically get the online version. The ISBN is in there. If you go to the bookstore, they should have it. What I like about this book, and you will see how the course is laid out, is actually it's not divided into chapters. It's divided into units. And what I'm assigning in terms of reading, I'm not assigning whole chapters, I'm assigning units. And you will see in the modules that you sometimes have 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4. The worst is probably going to be 4 or 5 units. And even at 5 units, it's still barely an amount of what a chapter would look like on another book. So the reading is not really that intensive, honestly, because of the way that the book is divided, okay? So this is, obviously we start with unit 5. That gives me also the option to start wherever we need to and wherever we don't need to. So this book starts on unit 5, and here is the unit 5, okay? Okay, so this is unit 5, and you can clearly see it starts on page 33, okay? Starts on page 33 and ends on page 38, okay? 38. There's 38, is it? No? Yeah, 38 on the top in there. Okay. So that's 38. So that's 5 pages. Even I can read 5 pages. Okay. So, and I'm not taking this class. So my point is, please do the reading, read the units. Don't rely only on my videos. Don't rely on the PowerPoints by themselves. Do the reading. It's really not that intensive reading. Granted, every week you have more than one unit, but it's still 10 pages. You're not reading a novel every week. You're not doing a 70, 80 pages a week. Okay. So you're just doing few, maybe 15 pages in the worst case scenario, 20, 25 pages. That's really intensive reading. So please do that. Okay. Do the reading. It's essential. It helps a lot. Do the practice problems also. You will see that, and follow the videos that I post in there just for clarifications. And hopefully you will have everything done in time and you enjoy this class as much as you could. Okay. So there is a required reading. Participation is required through doing the reading and also answering the discussion items. Every week you will have discussion. We're going to get into details about that. And also you will have a project. There will be 2 projects. Actually, let me pull it back. There will be only 1 project required to submit. Yes, you will be given the option for more than a single project to do, but at the end, only you are required to submit 1 project. Okay. And that's basically how this thing is. You have the resources from the campus and things like that. And this is what I was talking about. So every week you will have a certain number of units. And that takes us, because the courses, the semester has been condensed, so I'm trying to adjust I'm trying to adjust course length and the timing, because it used to be the whole semester was different. Now the college opted for a shorter semester, so I'm adjusting the amount of work that you guys need to make sure that we meet all those. Remember, we have objectives to meet. Okay, this 16 objective that needs to be met. Some of them expend quite a bit of time, so we have 16 objectives and we have like 16 weeks. So really, basically, we have to meet all of these objectives. Okay, and that's how we're going to be tested anyway. So based on those objectives. Anyway, so this is basically in terms of the syllabus. If you have any questions, and I know I sent the syllabus before the class started, so 2 weeks ago, just a week before the class started. So hopefully you have had a chance on it. I know some of you asked questions, especially in terms of the textbook and things like that. But if you have more questions, please do so, okay? In terms of grading, how you're graded, you have 3 midterms, the lowest of which is going to be dropped. So you actually are going to be only 2 midterms. Homework and quizzes, those are 30%. Projects, 1 out of 2 projects, and that's 10% of the grade. And participation, which are all those discussion items and things like that, they amount to 10%. So that's your 100% grade. That's how you reach 100 grade. By far, of course, the midterms are very, very important. So don't skip midterms, okay? Although, because they have a lot of weight in here. So let me go back into the models where I clicked earlier, because that's where the main action is going to be happening. Obviously, the models are divided in 2 weeks, as you can clearly see. And some of them are not visible. They're locked still, because I'm still working on them, honestly. And extending all the way to week 18, and that's where the midterm is, okay? That's where the midterm is. So that's where everything is going to be. This date may change, okay? So I think it's going to extend to the week after. So let's go back in here. These are the first week. This was available last week, and this was available this weekend. This was made available this weekend, okay? Every week you will see we have an objective, and even the weeks that are not visible, you will see they have an objective. Every week you will have a discussion item, and it tells you this is graded and when it's due. This is graded also when it's due. So you know when these things are just by looking at them. Every week I put PowerPoints. They are actually from the publisher. I did not make changes to them, from the textbook basically. And these are more publishers and more PowerPoints so that you can see them. Every week you're supposed to be doing the readings of these very same units. Last week there were 2 units, so basically 10 pages. This week you're talking about 15 pages. Okay. Next week it's only about 5 pages, so that you know. The week after it's about 10 pages. And you see the pace. Some weeks down the road will become a little bit more involved, so that you know. Okay. So all of this up to 15 pages. This is before the spring break. 15 pages, 15 pages, 10 pages, because this is not a reading thing. And then 20 pages, 20 pages, and so on and so forth, 25 pages. So at the end, because we have to, I may, like I said, I may change this one in here and loosen up a little bit on these things. And here I'm probably putting one in here with the final, okay, or 2. That's what I was saying in here earlier, that this may be pushed a little bit further. Anyway, so this is still, I'm adjusting it because of the new timing, so I'm trying to adjust things. And in addition to that, you have the sessions. For example, if I click on this one, these are actually videos, okay? This is videos that I pre-recorded for every unit in here, unit 5. And if you click on it, this is about 11 minutes actually. This is unit 6, about 15 minutes. The recordings are not long, okay? The recordings are about, I mean, they average probably 13, 14 minutes. Sometimes they're 15 minutes, sometimes they're 10 minutes, and they fluctuate depending on the content, okay? So they're not too deep. They're not too, how should I say, too long, okay? And the focus is in there sometimes is what I focus on, but doesn't prevent you guys from reading. You must do the reading. That's not an option. That's a requirement in this class, okay? You have to do the reading from the book. In this week, for example, which is week 2, because I have 3 units, I have 3 recordings. So let me click on it to see the recordings. Obviously, in here, live session of Monday, January 26th, that's a, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. Why didn't you say so before? Share. Okay. Okay, so let me go back into the modules in here. I was talking about the syllabus. Hopefully you guys have had the syllabus in writing and following with me, okay? Anyway, so again, these are the weeks, okay? All of them, these are the units from the book, as I was talking earlier. These are the weeks that are still not available, and here I'm still working on this recording, actually trying to adjust them, and some of the assignments, trying to adjust the timing and all of that to make sure that everything is adjusted accordingly. Anyway, so every week, as I said before, has an objective, like week 1. Obviously, this is an exception for week 1 because we have the rules also that needs to go on top of everything. So please make sure you follow the rules on how to communicate, basically being careful not to basically make sure that whenever you're trying to communicate with somebody online, put it in your how would I react if somebody says that to me, okay? The tone set as can be, sometimes you really don't mean anything by it, but the way that it sounds, sometimes it's really can be offensive. So try to be careful on how to communicate. That's basically what this thing is, and how to address your classmates and everything else, and things like that, okay? And of course, like I said, every week we'll have an objective. This is the objective for week 1, objective for week 2. Basically, what are we covering during that week, okay? The topics that we're covering there, if there is any specific assignments. This week has 2 assignments actually. Is the Earth flat? That's an assignment discussion item, and you have to follow the prompt. And it's due, initially it was due last weekend, but I had to adjust it because again, I'm trying to adjust all of the timings. And it has also another assignment, which is week 1 discussion. This is worth 5 points. This is worth 15 points. If I click on the specific assignments, like this one, usually it gives me the instruction, okay? Uh, shows me my progress. This is because I'm logged in as a student, as I said before. So it gives me my own progress. Of course, I have to read the instructions, and it's very important to follow the prompt in here. It gives me uh, 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 how am I going to get 15 points, because this is out of 15 points. Okay, as you can clearly see, it's graded, and the maximum I can get in this assignment is 15 possible points. If I want to get 15 points, I really have to make sure I have to do this item to get 5 out of 5, to do this item, get 5 out of 5, and to do this item to get 5 out of 5, okay? And once you do that, then I get my 15 points, okay? And that's how basically this is going to be done, okay? So when you click on this, it's going to take you outside of this to load it, and then it gives you the option to submit it, and it's going to be graded for you. Okay, so for this particular assignment, let me go back into where I came from. This is week 1 discussion. It's worth 5 points, and it's due February 1st, which is this coming Sunday, the weekend. So that you know, most of my assignments are due 11 p.m. on that day. So when he says February 1st, it's 11 p.m. February 1st, okay? And then you have a summary of the content. So if I click on it, it's just going to give me a summary of what is covered in this units, okay? Okay. And if I go back, okay, I have the 2 PowerPoints, as I was saying, and those are the readings I must do from the units, from the book. So the units 5 and 6, that's for this week. The week 1, that's what passed last week. And if I go to next week again, and any other week, I will see this pattern repeats. I always have an objective for that week, an objective for week 4, and so on and so forth. Obviously, this is great because it's going to be available, for example, for this one on February 9th at 7:45 a.m. Okay, so that's basically why it's great. But every week has an objective. Every week has a content. Almost every week, I wouldn't say every week has a discussion. Okay, down the road you will see some of them that don't have it, and if they do, sometimes they are not graded. Okay, so they are not always necessarily graded. So some of them are optional; those are not graded. But some of this ones is required because it has a grade on it. And this week, for example, week 4, it has a homework. We're going to discuss that down the road. Okay, so we'll have a specific session on this, how to do the homeworks, and you will have plenty of help for how to do homework. Actually, this is a help on a specific homework which was due before, which was posted before homework 1. That's exactly my point in here. Homework was posted on week 3, but the help for it actually came up later on. And it's the same. Both of them are going to be released on the same day. By the way, these 2 units are on February 2nd, which is coming this next Monday. Okay. So, so in other words, you're not on your own. The purpose of the homework, so that you know from the get-go, is not to challenge you. It's not to say, "Oh, I dare you do this assignment." No, it's actually for you. I hope you do this assignment and you do it right. If you have difficulty with it, here it is. I want you to do it, and I want you to do it right. Okay? You have a problem with how to do the math, how to do, for example, power law or something like that, ask. It's not the purpose of it to do the math. This class has nothing to do with that, okay? The purpose of doing those assignments is for you to see things in numbers. When you see something, when you actually do something, you learn better. The retention is higher. You know it. You will basically participate and engage in that thing. Instead of me telling you a story, here is how the solar system looks like, here is how the planet look like, here is how the orbit of this one, and here is, these are Kepler's laws, this nuclear reactions inside the star, and so on and so forth. And the end, instead of having to hear stories, the stories sometimes are fun, but usually you forget a lot of these things. Okay, but when you do them, your chances of knowing them and retaining them, you become more familiar with them, increase. That's why I do these assignments. and they are part of the grading system. And it's not really a challenge. If you don't know how to do them, you can, of course, use Google. You can use AI. But the point in here that I'm hoping that you do is you know exactly what you're doing, because that's the purpose of it, is to know these things so that you take ownership of these things. That's really the whole point of them. Again, you have more homework assignments in this week, you have more readings in this week, and you have the sessions, okay? And the same thing for week 5. That's where projects will be posted. You're not required to do both of them, as I said before in the syllabus. You're required only to do one of them. So you look at this, you look at that. What amount of work I need to do this one? What amount of work I need to do this one? You make a decision. You have the complete option to do either this or that. Okay. As long as you do one of them, I have no problem with them. Both of them involve observation of the moon. Okay. And it's showing a hand. Okay. No. Okay. So hopefully, when I was trying to react to that raised hand in there. We'll go more in detail about these things down the road, so don't worry about the details and all of that that will follow. So let's look at these sessions again, as I was talking earlier, before somebody mentioned the fact that it's not, you're not seeing it. So every week I post recordings for those units. Okay. And those recordings, they elapse anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. So they're short recordings. Okay. This is are posted on my YouTube channel, so you can go there and watch these recordings or previous recordings. Some of them, they can be very, very long, like today's recording right now. It's spending over half an hour already. Okay. And I really don't like that, but we have no choice. Today is an orientation. We have to do that. Anyway, so this is like a 16, no, this is like an 11-minute. This is like a 16-minute recording. If you want to know how long that is, I'm going to click play and I'm going to stop it immediately just to show me how long it is. It's showing 15 minutes and 42 seconds, okay? This one, okay, let me pause it. It's 11 minutes, 57 seconds, 12 minutes basically, okay? Let's move on. Let's move to the next. Let's go back to the week 2. Week 2, which is available for you guys. There is a quiz already, okay? If you are an SAS student, please reach out to me as soon as possible to make sure that the accommodation for quizzes and online testing is there, okay? So if you need more time or something, I need to accommodate for that, but you need to go to the SAS to get the proper paperwork to make sure that you're served correctly. This is for today's session, so that's why there is nothing in there. This one is for Unit 7. This is 16 minutes, okay? This one is for Unit 8, and this one is 10 minutes, okay? No, Unit 9, that is. Because there is an order, even in the class, Unit 9 comes because they're following. This is this calendar, this is the calendar, this is the daytime, okay? And Unit 8, this is almost 16 minutes, okay? So those are the recordings between basically 16 minutes and 10 minutes, okay? So hopefully you can watch those. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Don't rely on these videos. You must do the reading, okay? And you could read actually faster than watching these videos. You could read the whole five pages probably in like 10 minutes at most, 5 minutes at most. Some people, fast readers, and you don't have to worry. But it's a good idea also to do the two, because that way it clarifies any questions that you might have, or at least the terminology. And sometimes watching something after reading it make it even clearer. but it has to be in this order. Read first and watch later. Okay. Anyway, so those are the models and how they're structured. Let me go back to the models again to make sure I didn't miss anything so far. This is the start of the class. Okay. And down the road, we will have midterms. As I said before, midterm 1 is actually on week 6, and that's going to be available sometime in February. Okay. Again, as I was saying in the beginning, I'm adjusting the dates because of the fact that the whole thing has to be rearranged because of the way that the schedule of the semester has changed. All of these things are coming from my previous semesters, so I'm trying to adjust things and move them accordingly. Okay. Of course, syllabus, the modules. The other thing also is announcements. You already have seen that I have sent some announcements. I don't know if I click on announcements, if I see anything or not, because I am looking at it as a student. Yeah, these are the announcements. So make sure that your Canvas is properly adjusted so that it sends you notifications for it. Okay. And grades. This student is a test student, doesn't have any grades. But if you were to approach it, you will see how much you receive in terms of grades and things like that. Okay. So there will be down the road other meetings and communications relevant to other things like homework assignments, projects, and midterms and things like that. So this is not the last meeting we're going to have in this class. I hope that you guys can attend live. And if you can't attend live, make sure you watch the recording. Okay. So my intent for this video was to introduce the class for you guys. I know that you have had already a week to navigate your way through it, and you may have had some questions. Some of these questions probably you did not have a chance to formulate them. Those who formulated these questions sent me messages. I tried to reply to them as soon as possible, replied to them already. Those who still kind of vague picture. Hopefully it clarifies a lot of this vagueness for you guys. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to send them. I'm really, really hoping to hear from you and make sure to make this class as engaging as possible for you guys and you take the most from it. Thank you.